git add dot. Okay, now if I say git status, this is what you'll get. Okay, hold on guys, 1 minute. Okay, now you see all the files are tracked. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to give something like, I'm going to commit it. That means nothing but saved it actually. Git commit, okay, -m. I'm going to say base commit dot. So git commit -m base commit. That means now it is saved. If I go to git status, now if you see working tree is clean, nothing to commit. That means I have saved all the files. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, are we good? No, we are not good, because whatever the files we have saved using the commit, it is there in your local laptop. It is not in the remote. That is not what we want, right? What we want is, we want our file should be here. Okay, now I need to push it actually. Now the command to push it, git push origin master, because we're in the master branch, we're going to talk about the branches later. If I put before that, see, if I want to git push, but what I want is, I'll say git remote -v. So it will show you what is the remote repository you want to connect. Right now it is not showing anything, guys. Okay, right now it is not showing anything. So what I need to do, I need to add this repository as a remote repository. So what I'm going to copy this. Git remote add. Guys, give me 1 minute. Huh? My kid is doing some noise. Hold on. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, see, I have everything is saved in my local repo, but I want to push it to the remote, right? How I'm going to do that? So for that, you need to add the remote actually. See, what will happen is, if see, I have a folder and I'm trying to push it to here. That is what I'm trying to do. That is why it is not showing anything. If I type git remote -v, it's not showing anything right now. Sometimes what will happen, actually I can clone something. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me show you something. I can go here. Let me try to clone a git repo actually. So Terraform single instance is there, right? Let me clone this, copy, and what I'll do, I'll open again a window. I'll say like cd. Now what I'm going to do is git clone. I can give something like this. I can give a repository, some name actually, testing repo, for example. Now it's downloaded this from the GitHub and it's saved in a folder called test repo. So I go test repo. Now if I type git remote -v, then it will say the connection actually. It is showing origin. You have downloaded the origin from here. And if you want to push, that's why it's fetch actually. Fetch means go and search. If you push the data, you will also push to the same thing. So it is showing both fetch and as well as push, both origins same actually. But that is not the same case here. Why? Because we didn't clone it, guys. We created the folder and we put the files and we have created a registry here. Where is it? We have we have created a repository here, and what we want to push to this one. That is the reason it is actually not showing anything. So what I'm supposed to do, git remote add origin, you need to add it, origin, and I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here and hit enter. Now if I type git remote -v, now check it out. Now we have added our English DevOps batch 10 repo for to this folder. Now we need to push it. Okay, I'm going to say git push origin. Which origin you want to push? Origin, this is the origin, and master, it is the branch, guys. By default, if I put git branch, okay, it will be master. We'll talk about master and other branches later. Just right now I'm going to say git push origin master and hit enter. Now it is pushed actually, but let me tell you, it won't happen in you. It won't happen in your case because it is going to ask you the password actually, because I already logged in, right? That's why it is not asking any password. But in your case, it will ask you for a GitHub ID and password, and put the password, and you will be able to log in. Now, if I refresh this, I should be able to see my code here. See, git ignore all these things, and if you see, this repo is for English DevOps. Okay, now it came in bold. Why? Because I gave the 2 stars right here in the readme. I gave this 2 stars. Let me do one thing. I'm going to make some changes. This time I'm going to give something like this. I'm not going to give anything, no stars actually. Okay, that means this, I'm just doing some change, as well as I do some other changes actually, which is I go to the scripts, PowerShell, and I'm going to say give some heading, something like I'm going to give uh, PowerShell script to uh, find even and odd numbers. Okay, this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is, no, this is not testing, it's not required. So I'm going to, I just showed, okay, I'm going to remove this rmdir -s -q. Okay, let me remove this. Okay, done. Okay, let's deal with this now. So what git will do, if I type git status, now the point, I mean the working way of git is, if you see, it is showing clearly there are 2 files modified. One is my script as well as the readme. How do it know? That is what the git does, guys. Why we have the .git folder? The git primary responsibility is to keep track of what files are being modified. That is a primary level, because if it doesn't know what files are modified, what is the point of, how can it save, right? So what it will do is, git will do this one. Now one more thing is, whenever you push it, whenever I push, like git push origin master to here, right? Let me tell you, there will be a commit id. There will be a commit id which will show like 7-character commit id. But let me tell you, that is not 7 characters. It will only show first 7. But if I go inside, click on it, this is such a big one. Now what is this commit id? This commit id is actually a reference number about what is the files you have pushed. When you make changes, push it again, what it will do is, it will basically get a new commit. So that means how okay, how exactly it got this number here actually, because it came from here. How? If I say git log, now check it out, guys. It is saying this is the commit id, and this is the author, and this is the timestamp, and this is the comment which you give, git commit -m, right? This is the base commit. Okay, you can also see much simplified. Git log will give you some details. What I can do is hyphen, if I say one line, you see something like this. Okay, if I say pretty, you'll get something, I think pretty hyphen one line, I think so. You'll get something like this basically. So if you put one line, it will show everything. So every time you commit, that means you save it to the save it using commit, there will be a commit ID, and the same commit ID will be visible at the GitHub as well. So right now, if I say git status, now you say two files are changed. So what I can do, git add dot git commit -m updated readme and my script.ps1. Just give some meaningful name. Done. Now git push master. Done. Okay, I'll go back. If I refresh, see right now commit is showing D0, right? And only one commit is there. So if I refresh it, now we have two commits and the commit ID changed actually. So if I go to commits, right, you'll see all the commit, see base commit, updated readme. And if you click on this commit, right, basically, so if you click on this, it should show me one. So I think here, if I click on this, it will show what are the changes it happened. So if you see, it is saying this is a git repo. See the plus sign means it added. Similarly, it has a plus sign here. That means this is the old code, guys, earlier commit, and it will show the newer commit actually. If you remove something, what it will do is it will show minus actually. So let's do one thing. If I go here and come down, if I go to the, sorry, not this one. If I go to again back, you see this, this is the one in the bold actually. Where is the other one? Yeah, this repo is for, see, this is not in bold actually. Now I didn't really like this. What I want is I want to actually remove that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the git readme and get rid of that one. Control yes, save it. Now I'm going to come here, I'll say git status. Now the change happened in the only one file. Again git add dot git commit -m removed ugly line in readme. Git push origin master. Done. So what I'm going to do is git log. It will show all the three commits what we did. And if I say -, one line, and it will show something like this. See, base commit, updated and reason, and third one is removed ugly. So wherever you see this head master as well as origin master, okay, so that means what will happen. So if you see, let me copy this, let me go to Google. So what exactly here, so head means it should be, see, if you have head and master. So what is this head actually? Head is it in master, that means it's the higher level, that means latest commit actually. So here the current commit in your repo is on. Right now you are in, where exactly you are in the head actually. Most of the time head points down to the latest commit in your current branch, but it does not to be have to be case. Normally, most probably, wherever you see the head, it will be in the latest commit. That is not the same case actually. If I do git checkout and if I give this one, do this one, it will, if now if I say git checkout one line, it will go back actually. Okay, so normally it will happen, it can, it's not mandatory, but it's not showing master. Check it out, guys, only head. Let me git checkout git log one line. Now it came back. Earlier I can actually go back. That's what we were trying to say. In general, wherever you see head, it is same. Most of the time head points to the latest commit, but it's not mandatory like that which I showed you. Simply say head really just means what is my current repo pointing at, where exactly I am. That is what here is a head actually. Okay, next is master. So the name of the default branch that Git creates when you create. So right now I'm in the master branch. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'll say git checkout. Don't worry about these branches, guys. I just want to give you the example. Git checkout -b. Okay, I'm going to say Munabai. So it says switch it to the new branch, branch Munabai. Okay, now I'll say git log -- one line. Okay, now if you see, earlier it was head at master, that means this is the latest commit, and right now I'm in master branch. Right now it is saying head and it is saying Munabai branch. Okay, so but just remember that one. That means it will show the branch actually. If I want to go back, I'll say git checkout master. I'll go back actually. Oh, don't worry about branches, guys. We still need to discuss about branches. Yeah, git log online. Now I came back to normally. So right now I'm in. So if I do one more, Munna bhai, or what I'll say, let's try to create only bhai rather than Munna bhai. Okay. Now if I say git online, it is just showing basically I have moved because it switched my branch only by. That's why it is showing here. Now I can actually go back to checkout master online. So it is just showing, okay, right now your master, you also have the branches like origin master, only by, Munna by, all these things it is showing. So that is what a head and master actually. Origin means the default name that Git gives to the remote repo. That means when you see here origin, that means the red color, right? It is not local, guys. It is remote. What is the remote? This is what they're talking about. So here, when you say head, that means this is the latest commit most probably, and right now I'm in master, and this is your remote repository, and I have other branches, something like this. What I will do is git branch -d only by as well as Munna bhai. I'm going to delete. Okay, if I type git online, you won't see the branch. I deleted the branches actually. We're going to talk later. So remember that one. Okay, any questions, guys? Any doubts here? Are we clear what I just did? Okay, hold on. Fine then. Next, what we're going to do is, let me go back here. Right. I want to push it, right? I'll say git. I pushed it actually. Let me refresh. So if you see, latest is removed the ugly line. Okay. If I go back to the commits and open this commit, and you will see right now this is the minus line. Check it out, guys. This is removed. That's why it's showing as a pink color, as a minus. It is not there here actually. So it will show what are the changes, because sometimes you want to check it out the difference between these two. I think there is one more also, git diff actually. I'll say git diff is there actually. You can use the git diff, but I don't remember the syntax, but you can find it. But anyway, you can find out from here. Visibility is very good to find out what is the changes you did, because anyway you have given remove the ugly line in the readme. Fine, but which line? Readme has 10 lines. So if you open this one, then you say, okay, this is the line in the line 2 which is missing. So easily understand what is the code edited actually, because sometimes you really want to check it out. Even you yourself, right, your latest code is not working but earlier code is working, but you want to see the differences, what you missed out. So you can actually go back and check this, and you can actually, if you unify it will show single actually what is happening, but this is what it's saying. This is what missing actually. Split means it will show what was earlier and what is not now. Okay, right. Next, what we're going to do is here we need to talk about, okay, now let me, give me 1 minute, guys. Let me take a reference actually. I don't want to jump into branches. I want to before see. Okay. What I want to say is, what is the reason we actually putting into a GitHub? The reason is multiple developers should work on this one. So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to deploy a Linux machine, install a Git on that one, and then we're going to use this repository. I'll show it to you. Right now I'm able to easily do this. Why? Because I'm in Windows, I'm able to log in, right? But Linux, how I'm going to do that? So I'm going to launch an instance. Let me use Amazon Linux, or I use Ubuntu. Let's try to use Ubuntu. Select T2 micro is fine. Public subnet 1, 100, add storage, add tags, name, test server, configure security group, and I'm going to start this server, guys. Okay, the plan is, okay, until now what I was doing is I was actually doing only from this Windows machine. I'm going to push it everything. But what is the point of using GitHub? It's a version control, and you can remotely share your code from, not from your laptop, from your GitHub to multiple people. Multiple developers are working. So I have a developer who want to improvise this code. Okay, he need to access the code. So I'm going to give the this link, and unfortunately he will not have any sort of access because this is a private repository. I need to give him access. I want to show you how I can give the access. So let me show it to you.
Sir, you burned right? Is
Oh,
there?
sorry, I forgot. Sorry, that's what I got confused. Hold on. Use Ubuntu. You wait. Okay. Okay, so if I type git, right, so git is already installed. So if you don't want to install, I say git hyphen git version, it is 2.7. So otherwise you can actually apt update, apt install. You can give something like this git. It's already there, it won't install, but I just want to show it to you. So it's already installed. Okay, now the point here is, how can I clone this? So if I try to clone, I can share with, okay, somebody shared with this to you actually. So what you can do, you can actually say git clone, and then you're going to say like English and hit enter. And unfortunately it is asking ID and password. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give ID and password. Okay, still it won't work for me as per my calculation. Okay, saying authentication failed. So you say that, sir, you have given the incorrect password. Actually I gave both are correct ID and password. Why it is not working is, for my GitHub account, right, let me show it to you. I'm going to sign out, and I'll say sign in, and I'm going to give, it will ask for my MFA. I have multi-factor authentication for the Gmail, Azure, AWS, not AWS, Azure, so not Azure, AWS, as well as GitHub, guys. So I can go, I think, including Facebook also. I just seen that. And I'm not a avid user of a Facebook, but now why exactly it is failing? Because here, if you have a MFA enabled, sorry, where is this? If you have a MFA, let me close this, all these unnecessary things, guys. Hold on. If you have MFA available, you can't really log in with your key. You need to use something called as a personal token, which we're going to talk later. But right now what I want is how can I make this work. This is where we're going to use something called as SSH keys, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say it not you normally in real time you really don't do in the root actually, but SSH hyphen keygen, what it will do is if you type let me tell you this SSH hyphen keygen we're going to use in Docker, we're going to use in Ansible, Puppet, almost everywhere, even Terraform, everywhere. So what exactly is a keygen? It will create a key pair, just like in Amazon you create a public and private keys, right? Similarly this will create a public key and private key. Just hit enter, enter and enter and enter, 4 times enter. What it will do is in the .ssh folder you can see it has created 3 files: authorized keys, id underscore rsa and id underscore rsa pub. Pub stands for public, whereas id rsa is a private. So even in AWS, if you create a public key and private key, it is actually giving you the private key, which is this one. Public key AWS will keep. Now what I'm trying to do, okay, let me take an analogy here. Imagine you are living in a house, okay. Now what happened is what happened is imagine you went to on site and forgot to pay the rent for your home. So and owner will come and assign his own lock to this one, his own lock, and he has the key with him. So whenever he want to go, you said to owner, okay, do one thing, sir, you have your own lock, I don't put my lock, so he'll put his own lock. So meanwhile he can actually come here and it will work. Now this is the public key, this lock is the public key, whereas the this key is the private key actually. So what we'll do now, we'll assign this lock to the github repository. So what will happen next time when I use this key, I can actually talk to this repository and download the data. So right now we have id rsa pub and id rsa. Id rsa pub means public key, whereas id rsa is a private key. Okay, where exactly I need to paste that? So I'll go back here and DevOps, where is our repositories? Show all, and I'll say put eng, yeah, this one. Now in the eng I have something called as settings. In the settings you have something called as deploy keys, and you can add a deploy key, and I'll say that my key, and I'm going to copy this cat.ssh id rsa pub and copy from here to here. I can give it here and I'll say allow write access, and I'm going to add the key. Okay, fine. Now let's try to download it again. Now if I try to download it, still I'm going to get error. I'll tell you why. So I'm going to copy, I think you're already there, right? So I'm going to git clone again. Still it is asking for a password. Why? Because when you use SSH keys you should not use HTTPS. No, that is not what we want. I'm going to control C. I'm going to say git clone, and you go here, see this use SSH. Right now it is in HTTPS, clone with HTTP. Now you click on use GitHub SSH. Now it is saying okay, clone with SSH. Copy this, come here, not here, right? Sorry, git clone. I'll give like this. You can give any folder, okay, or if you just leave it, it will create a folder. Hit enter. It will say you want to use the key. Yes, see that now you got these things done. This is how you can actually add SSH keys, okay, SSH keys, and you can connect without any ID and password, guys. So what I can do, cd eng this one. So if I see ll, right, you will see all the files. This is how you can do it in HTTP. Most probably you use SSH, guys, but when actually if you want to do command line from Linux, but if you are using Windows you can use the HTTP as well. But what is that, if you have a multi-factor enabled, right, then you can't log in with indirectly. You need to use a personal token, which I'm going to talk about it later when we talk about Jenkins. Okay, Questions, guys? Fine.
Harsha,
Yes.
Harsha Karthik here.
Mm-hmm.
So far, whatever getting committed, right? So it is
Mm-hmm.
happening at the folder level, and